All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. Good to see you guys. Hope you're well. What's up, Keith? Good to see you, man. Moon Boy counts as always. But you know the Bear Boy counts are coming and everything in between, because we're not Moon Boys, we're not Bear Boys, we're just real boys, guys. We just look at the market and try to be as honest as we can with where the market is going or where we think it might be going. So with that said, welcome to the channel. Welcome to our Sunday Night Charts. Hope you're well. Are you guys interested in seeing me? I guess sometimes you like to see me, to see who you're interacting with. So we'll activate you in 3, 2, 1. Activate. Boom. There I am in all of my glory. Not much glory to speak of, but here I am. Good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's say hi to Daniel L., as he is a longtime member and longtime friend and a longtime viewer. Good to see you, buddy. Antonio Valdivia. Good to see you, man. Hello. How are you? Mr. T-Bag. Good to see you, buddy. Johnny English. Hello, sir. Hello. How's life there in South Carolina? What's up, Kimosabi? How's life down there in Cleveland, Ohio? Hey, Jason. Jason, I got your name this week. I got your name. It's not Manure. It's not Jason Manure. It's Jason Monet. Right? Monet? Monet. Lots of Monet. I like Monet. What's your favorite saison? Winter. Sommer. Good to see you, man. Welcome, buddy. Glad you're here. All right, I think I said everybody who said hi to me. There's 18 of you here. I didn't create the live stream as early as I usually do. So what's up, Ricky Spanish? Good to see you, buddy. You got the grill fired up and ready to go for another week? I'm just chilling here with my merch right here. Got my merch here. Got my merch right there. It's chill. The market always comes back. If you want one of these, there's a link in the description. You got to pay an astronomical price because I don't make these, and but they're pretty cool. They're pretty all right. They hold a lot of coffee. Got the coffee rocking, so hopefully you like it. It was the last time I said it, but not this time. What's up? Dashil Patel. What's up, man? Good to see you. I'm doing well. Having a great night. Doing well. Just watching the markets, trading a little bit, having some fun. Jason Manure is here. I'm tired. You're tired? Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. Are you tired? I am tired. Tired of trading. Well, I've had a really good weekend trading. I've 20%. I've increased my account by 20% 5 times. Yes, that means price doubled, more than doubled. But anyway, yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. My strategy is killing it, as long as I kill it and stay in the right mindset. So, I love it. I love it. All right, it says my chat's disconnected. Let me know if good audio and video, because I'm not sure if we got a good connection or not. I got green in OBS. I got green here. Let me reload my chat here. Give me 1 second, guys. Reloading the chat. Ah, there it is. Got the chat back, guys. All right, got it back. All right, well, hey, there's 25 of you here. There's 9 likes. Those 9 of you that hit the like button, you're my favorites. Just want you to know you are my favorite. Those that hit the likes. And I still like everybody else who's here, but I just don't like you as much as I like the people who hit the likes. So hit the like buttons. Hit it, and you'll be my favorite. You'll be my favorite. I tell all my kids that they're my favorites privately. I tell them secretly that they're my favorite, but I say that to all of them. My son Samuel just said, I heard that. Samuel, you are my favorite son. In fact, out of all the sons in the world, Samuel, you are my favorite one. Listen. I mean, there are millions and millions, billions of sons out there. And, well, I like you more than every other one of them out there. And I got a bunch of sons watching the channel tonight. And you're more favorite than all of them. Johnny English, not even know. You know it's going to be good. There might even be a rant tonight. You might even, if you guys are lucky, you might even get a rant. Gary George, longtemps no see, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Pop into the Discord and say hi sometimes. All right, guys. Well, I've spent long enough. I always like interacting with you guys. Love you guys. And I just want to say hi, get to know you a little bit, and play around. But hey, let's get to the content. Don't forget, I'm not a financial analyst. I'm not here to give you well, I am a financial analyst. Sorry, I am a financial analyst. However, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give you advice with your money. I'm not here. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. Whether it's good or bad, whether it's the right decision, wrong decision, I'm going to let you know what I'm doing, and you can do with that what you want to do. I'm going to show you how I look at the chart and how I think, what I think about when I look at the chart. I've been looking at charts for, since 2017. I kind of got in the game, just got my feet wet and started learning Elliott Wave in 2017, 2018. So I've been looking at charts, and I've been steady staring at charts for hours on end, every day almost, since then. I mean, for however many years that is. How many years is that? It's 2024 now. It was 2017. It was January 2017 when I began looking at charts. So what is that? To 24, that's, 7 years? Guys, I've been doing this 7 long years. I'll be honest with you. I took the last year off making videos. I haven't made videos in quite a while because regular, just get burnt out of making videos every day. It's really, really hard to do sometimes. So I'm sorry, and I'm working really hard. Right now, I'm in the middle of getting my house ready to sell. So we're getting ready to sell our house, and so I didn't make any videos last week because I've been busy serving other people and serving my Discord and getting my house ready to sell, so I haven't had time to make videos. But they will be coming back for sure. I took the last year off because I was just tired, man. Just tired of talking about charts every day. But I do it. I do it every Sunday night with you guys. And here we are, Sunday night charts, ready to rock. Okay, so not an advice giver, but I will tell you what I'm doing. All right. Hey, the title tonight. There is a global economic collapse coming, guys. Let's just take the first part of this live stream and just talk about that just a little bit. Okay. Let's talk about the world scenario and where we are, and then just paint this picture here of what's going on in the world, okay? Where's the United States in this? Where's the United States currency, the U.S. dollar? Where does that fit in the grand scheme of things? What's going on with that? And then let's just begin broadly looking out at the markets and say, okay, what's going to happen to markets when an imminent collapse does actually begin to take place? And when that happens, then, what are markets going to look like? And where's a good place to put your money? Are you ready for the collapse that is with certainty coming? Okay, so let's talk about it. First off, you say, Jim, how can you know with certainty that there's a collapse coming? Well, I don't know anything with certainty. I know things with likelihoods, right? And we know past experience, we know history, right? And we know how money works, right? Money has always been historically gold and silver, tangible things that have intrinsic value in and of themselves. Okay, that's what money has always been. Historically, money is gold, money is silver. Money used to be made out of gold and silver, coins and such, and so money has been gold and silver and other precious metals for hundreds and thousands of years, right? That's been a historical and time-tested store of value, right? Wars have been fought over gold and silver and precious metals and things of that. And wars and so when you have something that's of tangible value, that can be traded for goods or services or whatnot. You have money, real money. But ever since the U.S. dollar, the currency, I've got my wallet here. I can pull out a piece of paper right here that says it's a Federal Reserve note. It's a Federal Reserve note, and that piece of paper is saying that this is worth $20 of gold. It's supposed to be backed by gold, and I'm supposed to be able to turn in this piece of paper. If I have this piece of paper and it's legitimate, it's got all the signs of being legitimate, then I can get gold or in reserve or in return for it, right? That's the idea behind carrying this around and not gold, right? So that's what this was supposed to be, and the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency. It's the currency that's backed by gold, and that means all the other countries of the world, they back their currency with the U.S. dollar. The U.S. says, "Hey, we'll back our currency with gold and our and our stable economy, and you guys can use our dollar to back yours." And so that's kind of the system that we're in. But the problem is, ever since Nixon, and maybe even before that, but Nixon, we've been printing money on a printing press over here and borrowing money. The U.S. is going into massive debt, okay? Borrowing dollars that are printed freshly on a printing press that the U.S. mint by the Federal Reserve. And they've just been printing it out of thin air, not backed by gold at all, but rather backed by our military might, backed by our agreement with OPEC nations. We said to Saudi Arabia back in those days, Nixon's days, "Hey, listen, we will militarily protect your oil fields and protect you as you produce your oil, as long as you only sell your oil in U.S. dollars." That means if France or England wants to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, they got to come up with U.S. dollars, okay, in order to do that. And such was the beginning of what we call the petrodollar. And so the U.S. military might has been really the backing of the dollar. Basically, the U.S. has been part of a Ponzi scheme saying, "Hey, listen, come and try. We're going to print all the money we want in the world and try to do something about it." It's really kind of an evil thing that's been going on. I'm not, as an American, I'm not proud of that or happy about that, but that's kind of what's going. So every dollar they print, they devalue it. They devalue it. Loses its value. I mean, think about it. If you got a $20 bill right here, and this is worth $20 worth of gold, whatever that is. What if you print another dollar, another $20 bill? You put it right there. You print it out of thin air. Now all of a sudden, you've got $2 to 1 rather than 1 to 1, right? And so the ratio then of notes to what it's supposed to be backing is more. In other words, it takes two of these now to get what used to be $20 worth of gold. Now it takes 40 US dollars to get $20 gold. That's called inflation. That's basically what's been going on. And we're complaining about inflation, and you guys know this, but inflation's been going on, guys, for years and years. And they say inflation is good at 2%. The Federal Reserve, paints that lie like, 2% inflation, that's what we want. Really, inflation isn't great. Free markets, outside of the hindrance of the Federal Reserve and the government would be better than the interference of these guys. But anyway, historically, now we've been printing trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, trillions of dollars just printed out of thin air, and the U.S. dollar is losing its value, and it's losing its status in the world. China and Russia are positioning; they have been positioning themselves to do without the U.S. currency. We don't need the U.S. currency anymore. We don't want to be tied to it anymore. Now that doesn't mean their economic status is any better than ours necessarily, but they're trying to get away from it. And Saudi Arabia is potentially on the cusp of saying, "Hey, it's been a nice ride, United States. We appreciate the deal, appreciate all you've done for us, but I think now we'll consider selling our oil in other currencies, especially as Russia and China are the recipients of that purchase, because all of a sudden then for the United States to step in and say, wait a minute, Saudi Arabia, you can't do that. Now you got to mess with Russia and China, and you got a big war on your hands. And it's a scary thing. In other words, what's holding the value of the dollar up is the U.S. military might, right? And really, it's only going to take just one domino just to start a fall for the world to lose confidence in this world reserve currency. And so there's an economic crisis coming. And that doesn't mean that the U.S. is the only one in trouble. Every government in the world has been printing their own currencies and doing the same thing. And so the state of affairs across the globe is bad all the way around. And there are bubbles. I mean, just giant, straight up waves of price. If you look at all the indexes of the world, whether it's the S&P or the NASDAQ, or you look at the Nifty, or you look at just any other index of funds, you're just seeing this massive 100-year straight up bull run. And you guys here sit here and are thinking, yeah, it's gone up forever. It's just going to keep going up, and it's never going to end. And the fact of the matter is, it's going to end, and the time is ripe. We're on the cusp of the 100-year anniversary of the Great Depression that happened in the early 1900s. 1929 was a stock market crash, and what followed was a Great Depression. We're on the cut. We've got the status of our global economics being supported by this fiat dollar that's not worth anything. It's even in much more dire straits, and things are coming, guys. Something is coming. There's something coming. And I know you guys are looking at Bitcoin, and you're looking at the price of Bitcoin, and you're thinking, man, Bitcoin's only going up. It's only going up. There are a lot of you out there that are looking for 100K. And I personally believe 100K is coming. I don't know when it's coming. I believe 100K Bitcoin is coming. But what's it going to take to get the value of Bitcoin to 100K? Is it a lot of buyers coming in? Maybe. Or could it be the devaluing of the US dollar? It's not so much that the value of Bitcoin has increased, but rather the dollar's ability to buy it, okay? Or the world currency's ability to buy Bitcoin seems to be different, and therefore price will go up. And that's fine. In that scenario, if that's the case, then Bitcoin would be like gold and silver then. And some of you are thinking, yes, Bitcoin is the new gold. It's the new silver. And some of you are thinking, yes, that's definitely the case. But let me ask you a question. Let me just ask you a question. When the manure hits the fan, so to speak, in the global economic arena, and the chips and the dominoes begin to fall, number one, how are you going to recognize when you're in the middle of the beginning stages of that? How are you going to recognize it? Number one. Number two, what's your plan? What's your plan now? What are you doing now to prepare for that? And this little time I'm chatting with you really was preempted by Kimasabi, who thought it would be a great idea to begin this conversation. I was like, that's a really good idea. I love it. So that's where this is coming from. So thank you for that. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do with your currency? Some of you are saying, I'm putting it all in Bitcoin. Well, that's fine. And what you're doing, if you say, well, I'm putting all my money in Bitcoin, what you're doing is you're making a bet. You're making a bet that Bitcoin's going to last. That Bitcoin's going to be here when the global economic system fails. Because it's going to fail. We're going to something new. Okay? There's going to be a new economic order that is developed. A new world order developed. It's coming. It is. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know what the world's going to look like. But I'm a little nervous about what that's going to be. Nevertheless, we know it's coming. We know. There's too many signs on the charts. There's signs in the global economic situations of just as you look around, the wars could be beginning, or usually that's what happens. They take us to war to fix our economic problems, put down your enemy, and those that would try to do something against the United States economic status, right? So every empire falls. British Empire fell, the Roman Empire fell, and the American Empire will more than likely fall. What empire will rise up next, and what world domination will there be, and what will that be like? I don't know. I'm not a doomsdayer, but I'm just saying the writing's on the wall. We're living in interesting and scary times in which transition of power and transition of money is coming. And what are you going to do? There may be nothing you can do. It may be everything you try to do, it will fail, and we'll all be in a horrible mess, and it'll be scary. And maybe that you can do something. And so what can you do? Like, if the U.S. currency is dying, well, you don't want to have cash. We haven't even talked about the bank problems with the banks, right? Because we got fractional reserve banking. Okay, I haven't even talked about fractional reserve banking, but that's your banking system. Let's just say you put $1,000 in the bank, right? Well, the bank's going to take $900 of that and loan it out to people. And leave $100 in there, in their possession. Now, if you wanted to go get your $1,000, they'd give you your $1,000. But if everybody that had their money in a particular bank wanted their money at the same time, like, hey, I want my money out of there, the bank's going to say, well, I don't have your money. We don't have it. We don't have enough to give it, and that's what you call a bank failure. That's where banks fail. And you say, well, how could that happen? Why would everybody want to go get their money out? Well, what if things in the globe were so scary? What do people do? What do people do when scary times come? People go to the bank and get cash. They get money because they're going to need money to make it through. The shelves on the grocery stores get empty because people start panicking and going to buy toilet paper. Remember in COVID when all the toilet paper was gone? Let me know in the comments if you remember that. But so I don't know what's going to happen, but there could be socioeconomic, and global economic, and any number of situations where people begin to say, "Hey, I need my money," and then all of a sudden there's this mass movement to get their money out of the bank, maybe to get their money out of the bank and go buy something else, maybe gold, maybe silver, maybe Bitcoin, maybe stocks, whatever. But they want to get their money to buy maybe food and shelter, whatever. But they want to get their money out, and they're not going to have. So we got a banking crisis looming because of fractional reserve banking. We've got a currency crisis globally with every currency in the world. We have a potential weakening of the petrodollar in the sense that Saudi Arabia is kind of talking a little out the side of their mouth about selling oil and other currencies and whatnot, and there's just all these number of things. And then we've got these bubbles in markets. We've got these bubbles where the markets have just gone up and up and up and up and up. And what happens, guys, when you blow bubbles? Bubbles pop, and when they pop, they don't just fall. They explode, and things crash to the ground, right? And it doesn't just come down easy. So I'm simply warning you, letting you know that we're on the cusp of something very scary that's looming in the next 5 years, the next 1 year, 2 years. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what time. I don't know. But here's the deal. Let's just say, well, the banks are going to fail, so I need to get my cash out of the banks. Well, where do I put my cash? Well, buy Bitcoin. Well, what if Bitcoin tanks? There's no guarantee Bitcoin's going to be here, right? There's no guarantee that Bitcoin is going to last. There might be a Bitcoin 2.0 around the corner that you don't even know about. Where are you going to put it? Me personally, I go with a time-tested store of value. I've got right here. I mean, right here. I got a silver coin right here. That's not all. It's not. I mean, I got a little bit. I don't have tons, but there's a silver coin here. Now, I had somebody poo-pooing my silver the other day, like silver's for blah blah blah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, this is my decision. It's what I did. I believe that silver multiplies faster than gold once the chart starts moving. Silver is easier for me to get in quantities because of the cheaper price and whatnot. So yeah, I'm a silver guy. I like silver, right? It's tangible. I can hold it in my hands. I've got a store of value right here, and this is what I do, right? My money's not in the bank. It's in my property here. I bought this property. Well, Kimo, I'm getting to that. I got money in my property. I've got money here. You could put it in Bitcoin, right? You could diversify, as Kimo just said in the chat. Because there's no guarantee gold and silver are gonna go up. But here's the thing about gold and silver: for thousands of years, this has been real money. And I'm not looking for gold and silver to go up. I'm just looking for it to maintain its value, to maintain its need, right? In other words, silver is the number one conductor on the planet. It will always be needed in our electronics, right? So it's need globally. We have a deficit right now in silver. In other words, the global need for silver and how much is being produced in actuality yearly there's a deficit, and so that deficit is going to catch up with the market. The market is going to. I mean, that deficit is going to show itself in the silver market. But again, I'm not looking to make money on my silver purchase. I'm looking to preserve what I have. Okay. I'm looking to preserve the worth of what I do now have. And so this is my plan, right? I put my money in a tangible thing like a home. Okay. However, home prices could drop, but historically, even when home prices drop, the values of homes, generally, increase, have increased. It's been a good bet, right? Real estate's been a good bet. But again, there's no guarantee that the housing market could crash. The real estate market could crash. But when it crashes, I want to be ready. Because when that crashes, then I'll have something tangible I can exchange for whatever new currency is set up by the government, whatever new thing is set up and backed by something tangible. And I'll exchange my silver for that currency, and then I'll buy the things that are now cheap because the market has gone down. What I've done is preserved my money through a safe bet. Now, if Bitcoin's your bet, you don't have any history behind it. You don't have any history. You are, in my opinion, gambling solely on a new digital thing, a new digital asset. It may be a good bet. It may be a good bet. I don't know. But you have no history that would validate your bet. The only history you have of Bitcoin is the history of it pumping and dumping. Pumping and dumping. Pumping and dumping. It's done it time and time again. Up, down. Up, down. All right. So anyway, can I just say to you that whatever you're doing, if you're investing in Bitcoin and you're here for Bitcoin knowledge, I'm gonna show you what I think is going on in the Bitcoin market. I might be right and I might not be right. I'm going to try to show you as many options as I can show you. And some people look at me and poo-poo that and say, well, just show everybody all the options. It could go up or could go down. Nice analysis. No, I'll tell you which one I think. I'll tell you my opinion. I won't leave you lurking. I'll let you know what I think. And I'm pretty bearish on almost every market. I don't believe that I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to be the new gold. I'm not a believer in that yet until I see something about it. So with that said, let's look at the markets and understand that there is a looming crisis coming. And I don't know if anybody knows fully how Bitcoin and crypto is going to react during that time. All of it is speculation. It's all speculation how Bitcoin and the crypto market is going to react during that time. I'm going to speculate for you, but it's speculation, right? And I want you to know that I don't care who you respect. I don't care who it is out there you're listening to. They are speculating about the crypto market too. And you can listen to their rationale and you say, yeah, I really like that rationale. But that's why you need to have channels like mine as well, because I'm an Elliott waiver. Okay, I'm going to give you a perspective that these guys who are talking about fundamentals, they're constantly talking about fundamentals. Yeah, I'm going to give you technicals from a waves from a wave standpoint. Dave the Sage, that might be right. World War III, guys, I mean, if y'all want to go ahead and go to another channel because you're waiting for charts, I'm talking about important things here, and I feel free to move on. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna look at the charts here in just a minute. But the point is, let me just encourage you to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, put your money somewhere safe. It's not safe in cash. It's not safe in the banks. It's not safe in most markets. Where are you going to push it? Where are you going to put it? Historically, bonds, U.S. bonds, Treasury bonds have been a decent safe haven. But if the U.S. dollar collapses, I'm not sure that that's a good place to be either. So it's really a scary time for me. So I'm betting on the time-tested value of gold and silver, personally. That's why I do not have long-term investments at this moment in Bitcoin. However, on the next dip of Bitcoin, if we get it, I'll probably be a buyer if certain circumstances show up on the chart, and if certain global circumstances come into play, I'll probably be a buyer and a holder of Bitcoin if there's another dip. Some of you are laughing to yourself right now, Jim. Oh no, Jim, we're not getting another dip. You missed it. It's going to 100K. It's never going down. You missed the train. Nah, not really, because I'm a day trader. I buy it and I sell it. I buy it and I sell it. I trade the 1 minute chart, and like I said on the front end of this video, my little trading account that I'm messing with right now, MEXC, I increased it 20% 5 times. In other words, I had a goal of saying, okay, I want to have a 20% increase in the value of this account, and 20%, boom. And I did that 5 times this weekend, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time trading. It was just, I saw a setup, I played it, got in, got out, made the money. It was good. So anyway, I've been personally working on my trading and working on some psychology in my own life, so I can continue to trade and trade well and trade better. And anyway, but with that said, anyway, had a great weekend. I don't need a long-term Bitcoin hold to make money. Okay. All right, with that said, let's get to the charts. That's what you guys are here for. I hope that encourages you a little bit. 59 of you here, 25 likes. Let's smash those like buttons for me, guys, and just let YouTube know that this is let YouTube know this is something you should say. Tian Shinhan says, today I met with some friends, spoke how Bitcoin was up 2 to 3x, and they never usually talk about Bitcoin. Might be at a top. Okay. Nice. Mr. Chu, you're going to have to rewind the video and listen. Interesting, Chemo. That's interesting. Kemosabe, we need to do a video where you explain what you mean by that. Don't do it here, man. Let's do a video and let me interview you and pick your thoughts, because Kemosabe, he's got a really nice perspective that's refreshing and different and logical and based on a confluence of perspectives. So yeah. When is this collapse coming? Who knows, man? Who knows? But it's imminent. It's imminent for sure. All right. Let's look at the chart. Let's go to the 4-hour chart, guys, and see what we got rocking. Okay. First off, let's do some weekly analysis here. Oh, we've broken the top here. Now we're showing some signs of weakness here with some red. We've got 2 red weekly candles, which, by the way, let me just say that I mentioned several weeks ago when all we had were big green candles. I said we are due for some red weeks. Here we are. We got some red weeks. And I also said that more than likely we're going to stay in a range up here. We're going to stay in a range over the next several weeks. And here we go. Here we are. We're staying in this range. Now, what I'm going to now say is that I'm expecting this wick, this weekly wick that you see there, that giant wick, I will bet you that wick gets filled with a red candle. My bet is that red wick will probably get filled. Okay? Now, if it doesn't get filled now, this week, it's probably going to get filled after a move to the high and then another move down like that. Then I'm looking probably for a repeat of this top right here. Very likely. That's a possibility. My basic count here. Let me get on a different chart here because I'm on MEXC here. Let's see. Let me get on a different chart. There we go. My basic count for Bitcoin is that we have finished or potentially finished. Now this one I put right here. It really should go back to the beginning, right? 1, 2. This is wave 3. Okay, right there. This was 4, and this is 5. So that's one argument there. That there it is. There's a finished 5-wave move, and now we're looking for a complex correction. Because that's what Bitcoin likes to do. Let's give us complex corrections. Okay. W. No, not W. An A. This is B. It's 3 waves. 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and we're looking for a C wave. And it'll be a big flat, is what it'll be. Looking for a C wave. And that would be a complete Elliott wave structure. Okay. This would be 5 fast waves. And by fast, it could take 2 years. Because these corrective waves take a long time. They'll come down fast, correct for time, come down, correct, and so on. But we're looking for 5 waves. That's what we'd expect. And I'm calling it now. My price, my projected price is $8,000 to $10,000 Bitcoin. And it probably won't go down there and stay down there. It'll probably wick it and spend most of its time. So I'm thinking right in here. Okay. Which that's about 12, 13K, 14K in that range. I think that's a decent target, but I think it's going to wick down to here. It could wick down to even $4,000, right? But probably down here. But not spend a lot of time down there. Just quick, V-shaped recovery. Boom, back up to 30K. Maybe even back up to 40K. Pretty quick. Come down hard, shake everybody out, and then V-shape for a wave 1. And then we're going to spend the next several years retesting that. Okay? Back down like so. So we come down quick, come back in the range, back in the box, so to speak. I have a 3-wave and then moon. That's when the moon happens. So what this does, it gives time, the next 5 years, for the big boys who are controlling the world and diverting where the currency is going and whatever. It's going to give them time to do whatever they got to do financially to get their act together. I mean, we're already in the process. We're already in the throes of it. All of this was the first wave of it. We need to finish the correction. I don't believe the correction is over. The third leg of the correction is still yet to come. But the B wave has been so bullish and so up that it's gotten everybody super bullish again. And it's prime time for a dump. It's prime. The market is primed and ready to get dumped into. Okay? Does that mean it can't go up a little bit higher? No, it can, right? I can't. But I'm just saying that this count is my personal favorite count. and I can see it. This is just what I can see it. Now I'm going to show you another count here in just a minute that's more bullish than this, but it's still bearish over the long time. So this is one outlook. This is one way to count what's going on here. And anyway, this puts us over the next 5 years or so fairly bearish. But there's bullish waves along. There'll be a bullish, you want to be buying down here and, selling whenever shows signs of correction. Okay? But you want to be buying down here. If Bitcoin is gonna last. Hopefully we'll be able to buy Bitcoin at that time. Maybe not. We may not be able to buy it. Maybe it'll already be owned by all the powers that be. And as Chemo says, we're gonna have to buy a derivative of it instead. Some kind of derivative of it. So yeah, the camel. That's my next count. So the next count is the next way to interpret what's going on here is that this could be 1, 2. This was wave 3. This is wave 4. Okay. Now 4 overlaps 1, so we'd have to call this a diagonal, and we'd have to call it a leading diagonal. In which case we got 5 waves. We're calling this 5 waves. We're calling this 5 waves, and we're looking for 5 waves here in the fifth wave. And so we got 1, 2. We'd be looking for 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I would believe in that particular count, we're going to play around here, go hit the high, play around some more, go hit 100K, 90 to 100, probably not 100, but probably 90. Maybe 100, but I think everybody's going to want 100, and we're going to come short of it. Everybody's going to be looking to sell at 100K, and we're going to come short of it, and they're going to sell off, and we're going to get a 3-wave move all the way back down, correction back up, and then all the way back down. and that could take 5 years doing that. So this is the big scenario that I know most of you like. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's definitely what's happening. This is definitely the count. This is definitely what's going on. The reason I don't like this count, and the reason I don't like it is because it's too obvious. I think at this point, I think it's so stinking obvious that we'd be coming down, coming up here to finish the last wave, right? Let's just talk about this for a moment. But way back when when Bitcoin came down here, okay, right here, what was everybody saying? What was everybody saying? We're going back down. We're going to 20K. Everybody was right here at the wave. Everybody was saying we're going to 20K, and maybe even lower than that. But they were talking a big move that we're going down. We're going down. And what happened? By the way, I was not one of those people. I was one of these people saying, guys, we're going up. We're going up here. This is going up. And I was a big time bull boy right in here. Go check it out. Go watch my videos from around July of 2021. Okay? Go watch my videos back from July of 2021. Go watch them. Okay? I was a bull boy. I acknowledged that we could go down, but I was biased. I was calling like, hey, I think we're going up here. And then once we came up and once we broke this top, everybody was saying, oh, we're going up to 70K. We're going up to 80K, whatever. Here we go. We're going up, right? And I was like, guys, watch out. I think this might be happening. And sure enough, we came down. Now, what happened when we got down here? What happened? What was everybody crying? But by the way, wasn't everybody right that was looking for price here to come down to 20K? Wasn't everybody right? Yes, they were right. Price eventually came down to 20K and lower. Came down to 16K. Did price finish? Was that the lowest? Is that it? Is that the correction? Did we finish here at 15.9? It doesn't look done to me. It looked like it needed to really finish it to come right back down here to about $6,000 to $10,000. It just needed a little bit more, but what did it do? It pushed back up. Boom. Well, so what about all the people who were crying for $6,000 to $10,000 here? They're probably correct. But what's happening is price usually goes where you expect it to go, just not in a way that you expect it. So I do believe the Bitcoin price, it's going to hit 100K. It's probably going to hit 200K. All right? But it ain't going there the way you think it's going to go there. It ain't going there the way you think it's going. It's going to surprise you the way it goes. Now that could happen, that surprise could happen by just a straight up wave in a matter of a day or a week. That we could go from 60K to 100K in like a week. We get a 1 week candle where it just boom, it goes up there, hits 100K, and then crashes in the same week. That could be a surprise, okay? So that's a way the market could surprise you and get to your target. But another way it could surprise you is it's taken out this top. It reverses, comes down and hits this lower target that we were expecting before, and then it goes to the moon. It could go quickly, or it could go. It could take just forever until one day it just starts going, and it doesn't stop. But what would have to happen in the world for the price of Bitcoin to, number one, come down here and then to be bought back up and then find a consolidation range here, and then all of a sudden you get moon boy stuff. What would have to happen here? Global economic crisis that brings the price of markets down for a dip. And then the big boys start buying again. Maybe the dollar crashes. Then all of a sudden, because the dollar is crashing, Bitcoin against the dollar goes parabolic. Not because Bitcoin is really going up in price, but because the value of your currency is going down. That's why it would go up. I know every one of you are thinking, no. Our currency is fine. Our currency is good. Everything's fine. Everything's good. The Bitcoin's just going to go up. And I'm just not one of those guys. I'm just not. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. But that's not my belief. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm ready to be wrong. I'm okay to be wrong. But what if you're the bull boy? What if you're wrong? Are you ready to be wrong? Do you even believe, Bitcoin Andy, that you can be wrong? Do you even believe it? Do you even have a concept that your idea of what the market is going to do is wrong? Do you even have that concept? Or anybody else out there? Whatever you believe, are you ready to be wrong? And what's it going to look like if you're wrong? How do you know that you're wrong? When are you going to know that you're wrong? Do you even have a plan for that? Do you have an exit strategy? Well, I'll just sell at the top. I heard one guy tell me that. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to sell at the top. I said, that's great and good. How do you know when to sell it? How do you know when you've got the top? That's a good question. How do you not know? How do you know that this isn't a top? How do you know what it is? Well, we don't know that it is or isn't right now. We don't know. We have some options on the table. But the point is, it could be. And are you prepared for this to be a top? And if so, when are you going to let go of your holdings and say, you know, I want to preserve my capital. I want to preserve my cash. When are you gonna know? When are you gonna know? What's your point? I'm just reading y'all's comments here. All right. Anyway, guys. Absolutely, Chemo. That's who the big boys are. Do they care? Yeah, I think so. I think they care. Because the lower the price, the more they're greedy. The more they get. So anyway, I guess my point is, yeah, I think price is going to 100K. I do, but I don't think it's going to go the way you guys are thinking it's going to go. Now, it may not go the way I've drawn on my screen either. It may not go that way either. I'm just saying that I think the market's going to go where you expect it to go, just not in the way you expect it. And I just want you to be ready with a plan, okay, for that. Now, one way you can do that, it's not a guaranteed way, but one way you can do that is, you know, for instance, right here, that trend line right there, you could have drawn that trend line, and as soon as that broke here, you're like, whoa, that broke structure. You should have been out. You should have been out of the market there. If you were holding, now you would have given back a lot of percentage, right? You would have given back 28% of Bitcoin's value had you waited for that, right? But that's where you should have been out of that wave. Okay. So the problem with that is that this trend line here, we got a parabolic move here. Okay. So how do you draw that trend line there on a parabolic move? Okay. I would have said that, you know, basically you should have been out at the break here of that structure there. When that broke. Now, an even better signal is when you had divergence in the RSI. See, on the daily or the weekly, you had weekly divergence here, all right, and then you had a break of the RSI structure right here. Okay, these are secrets that I teach in my class in my Discord, so you're getting something free right now. Right here is where it broke on the weekly, okay, which it broke right here. This is where you should have been out. You should have been selling Bitcoin. So, taking that analysis, we don't have great divergence here. There's a pretty good chance this is going to consolidate, more than likely consolidate and make another high. More than likely that's what's coming, okay? Which in that case, it should create divergence on the weekly chart. Boom. Boom. When that happens, when you get the divergence on the weekly and you get a break of that line right there, okay, that's your sell point. It's time to get out. It's time to take your profit. okay, on the weekly chart. When you have the divergence, and when you have a break in that structure, that's a good time to sell. Okay, so there you go. There's a freebie for you. I give you that plan. Watch that on the weekly. You can watch it on the daily. Now, what's interesting about the daily is that the daily is it doesn't look quite finished, okay? But the daily is showing hidden bullish divergence, which is pointing to another hit to the high, okay? So the bullish divergence that I'm seeing, though it's not finished, I don't think this is finished coming down. I don't think so. And I could be wrong on that, but I don't believe that I'm wrong on that. I believe more than likely this RSI needs to come down. Now, price may not come down a whole lot while the RSI comes down, because price can kind of go sideways and stay in a range here, and even go up, make another high later, okay? But what you want to see is a break of the structure here, and you want to see price going up, making another high on the daily in price, okay? While it's making a lower high in the RSI, creating divergence, okay? And you want to see that divergence developing on the weekly chart as well. And then you want to see a break of that structure on the weekly. What you're going to see is a high made, a pullback to the 50 or something like that, another high made, in which price will probably make a final high, okay? Then you'll get double divergence on the daily, which will give enough time for the weekly to provide divergence, okay, on the RSI, and then a break of structure, okay. When I say a break of structure, I break of trend, okay. So right now we have an uptrend here, okay. We have an uptrend. We've got a downturn in momentum right now, so obviously we're getting a correction here, but that doesn't mean we've got the high in. But it could be. This could break structure now, okay. We don't have to get divergence because. But this is a good thing to look for. But we don't have to have divergence because we have an potential extended fifth wave, which often takes the divergence out, which often it negates divergence, which that's kind of what's happened here. We were expecting to see some divergence here. Boom, you got a higher high in price, lower high in RSI, but we didn't get that lower high. We got a little bit of a higher high in the weekly. Okay, so that said, but you might call this exaggerated divergence because there's a major uptrend here, but there's a sideways trend here in the RSI. So that could be exaggerated divergence. It might still be divergent enough to precipitate, hey, if we get a break here, that might be a sell signal, okay, to be taking your profit, be in cash and let it sit. So there you go, guys, okay. But what you'll notice here is that on the weekly chart, see this higher high that was made here, and the lower high in the RSI that was made, and when it broke structure right there on that lower high, okay, it broke structure on this candle right in here. Okay, so you had a sell signal somewhere about 57K, okay, range. Let's see if I can identify it. On this candle, actually, you had a break of structure on this candle right here. So yeah, 55 to 57K, you had a sell signal, and so I would have that would have been a good time to sell. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of stuff you're looking for here. Okay, so I would definitely draw that line right there on your RSI, and if you see that broken, okay, if that breaks and holds on a weekly candle close, okay, it's got to close on the weekly, then that's a sell signal. Okay, so this closed. We had divergence and a break on this candle right here. It had you out of the market at 44K if you waited for the close. You could have waited for a pullback, knowing that chances are the first break isn't always, it's going to pull back. Okay, chances are you'll get a pullback. So you could have waited for the pullback and maybe gambled and sold higher. But anyway, these breaks get you out close to the top on the weekly chart. So if you want to swing trade, you can swing trade the weekly chart. And they're helpful, at least, when you get breaks of structure. Okay? There you go. Hopefully there's some free info there for you. That's Jason Moore. I agree, man. I'm looking at the expanded flat option as well. Wish I could see your comment. I got a stupid heart covering your comment, Chemo. Oh, the flavor of this cycle. Yeah, the flavor of the cycle. I agree. There are lots of expanded flats, man. There are flats all over the place in this. So yeah, I tend to agree that this indeed. Okay, so there's your analysis for the macro. There's some ideas for when to be out of Bitcoin. Hope that helps you. So let's look at small time frame. What we're looking at here. Let's go to the 4 hour and just show you potential what I'm seeing here. Okay, I'm not sure what this wave is right here, but we got a potential here for a some kind of a diag. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm skeptical of that as a diag, but I'm considering it as a diag. And then we got a potential 3-wave pullback, okay, and which may result in a quick move to the downside here, okay. That's potential. Right now we've got the 200 moving average providing support. So maybe price goes up here, but no doubt flats are market makers' favorite moves. I mean, flats are powerful. I've made plenty of videos about that on my channel for sure. But yeah, so watch out for this, being a potential, a move down here. All right. In which case, what would that be, right? What would that be? Well, it totally could be. This could be a W, X, and a Y. Correction could be, right? Which then would lead us into a move back to the upside. So we go down and take this liquidity below this wick here, below here, and then we shoot up for another high, and we'd probably go up, I would imagine, in 3 waves. It would go up and it would look 3-wave-ish. And then crash after that. And that would be a good Bitcoin top potential. Okay, let me show you a fractal chart that I was looking at earlier. Got 2 ideas for this fractal chart. Okay, number one, we could have already topped right here. That this move right here is the same as this move right here. Okay, and then that move right there is the same as this move here. In which case you've got a wave 1. Oh, sorry. See how this low was broken by the first wave there? Okay, so we've kind of come down to this low here. All right, and then so with that wave, then we've got this interesting little structure right there, which looks very similar to the structure here. We could get a little boom down like that, come back up and boom. Okay, and we could be going. So that's a fractal of the previous all-time high. We might be getting something like that. We might be getting a repeat, a fender, double top, so to speak, and looking the same. So that's a way to look at that fractal. Whether that is a fractal or not, whether that's the way it's going to play, that's one way. Another way to peek at it here in the same way is that instead of that this wave right here is more in line with this wave here. And this move up is more in line with this move up. And this wave right here is more in line with this wave here. In which case, we're making some kind of something up to the upside now. Okay, which is going to play around and go up, right? Take the top and then come down. Which is more in line with what I've been seeing in the RSI and the 4-hour potentially. So you might like that idea as well. That's, again, if we get a similar structure as we did in the last top. I'm not here to say we're going to that this is definitely going to be the case, but it's sometimes good to look at previous wave action. What are the shape of the waves? What's the shape and the flavor of the waves of this particular market? How do waves like to form? And do they repeat themselves? And the answer is, yeah, they repeat themselves quite a bit. And so fractal analysis is really good to pay attention to. It'll really help you understand how, because you'll see the same patterns develop over and over and over constantly, okay? So anyway, yeah, that's really, so there's some ideas for you from a fractal standpoint on the 4-hour chart. That I don't know which one's going to play. I'm not here to tell you for certain, but what you should pay attention to is watch for this move right here. Okay, that's a potential move here that could play, which means we're coming down, and over the next day or so, we're going to dump and take out these lows. Might come back down to this low right here. Okay. Come back up, and then we might continue down. Okay, that's the way the last stop played. What followed was an impulse with a 3-wave, and then it continued. Right, that was a pretty fast wave. We might get something similar. We might be getting something similar. This might be the top, right here. This move right there could be this move right there. That could be the. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So this move right here could be this right here, and then you got that, then you got that, and then we might be in this wave right here, right, doing this. So we have another top to go, or I'm just repeating, but that's okay. I do a lot of that. My wife hates it. Or this wave correlates with this wave. This wave correlates with this wave. Okay. This little wave right here, maybe. Okay, right there. Boom, boom, boom. And this is the beginning of something deeper. And we might be on our way down. Time will tell. I don't know the answer, guys. I don't know what it's going to do. But looking at wave structure, you might analyze the tops and say, hey, is there some similarity there? Is there any plausibility to that idea? It's potential. Excuse me. Okay, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, Mr. Zigzag, but maybe you can explain it differently. All right, guys. Let's do this. Let's look at for now. Let's look at DXY. Let's look at the Nasdaq and the S&P. Let's look at gold and silver, and let's just do a little analysis there, and then let's call it a night. Okay. So hopefully you'll stick with me for the last finale of what we're doing. DXY here. We had news. This was the Fed news right there, and we got a reversal, guys. That happens over and over and over. So something a good trade for you is whenever the Fed says, whatever it does, the day of Fed news, the DXY, the next day and following, it's going to take it all back. Okay? So in other words, right after the Fed news, the next day, okay, Thursday went up. Thursday into Friday, okay? And it took the move that it had on the Fed news, it took it, and they do that over and over and over. You could go back through the chart, find when the Fed gave news, and on the day of the Fed news, the chart will do one thing, and the next day it takes it all back and more. Usually, that happens all the time. So that's a pretty good trade. That's a pretty good setup, to be honest with you. And what you see here on the 4-hour chart is you see a move, some kind of an impulse wave, boom, with a 3-wave pullback, and now we're impulsing again. We've got another impulse. Looks like a diagonal, prime for a 3-wave, and then a continuation. Okay, so my guess is that we're heading to the upside. Okay, we're heading up, more than likely. Okay, now we're going down. If the character of this wave right here is more of a 3-wave move, okay, then we could be heading down like that, okay. In which case you got 3, 3, and then 5, or 3, 3, 3, or this could be heading down like that, right? I don't think that's the case. I think the character of this particular wave looks more impulsive to the upside. So I think the overall character of the 4 hour is going to be slanting to the upside for a while, okay? For a final hurrah, okay? I think this right here was a triangle, A, B, C, D, E, boom, okay? This was wave 5, okay? This was a 1 and a 2, or an A and a B, and now we're getting the C wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is going to retrace this wave here before the crash of all time. Okay? The crash of the dollar, the DXY, boom. So I think we're going to see a strong rally of the dollar, short term, this year, prior to the election. And then right after the election, or around the election time, going to see a crash. That's what I think is going on. What? Good night. Love you, honey. So that's the best I can tell with wave structure here. That's my best idea. Okay, this was wave 1 to the downside. We're getting a 3-wave pullback. We're going to get another wave down later. Okay, so that's the way I'm seeing the market on the DXY. Okay, I'll leave all that scribbly stuff there. I will save that guy so I can remember my scribbles. All right, looking at Euro USD, if you want to look at the Euro, okay, looking at the daily chart here. If the DXY is going up, okay, well, what's going on with the Euro? Well, basically, it looks like it went up in 3 waves. Well, this is looking like, that's looking 3-wave-ish at this point, okay. It could come down and then back up and then down. Right? This looks like a flat correction. I don't think it was a triangle. I think it was a flat correction. That's a possibility. In which case, the DXY could also be a flat. That's the other option here. The other option is that this was a flat as well. And that this, okay, is already heading down. That we're not going to get a rally up to here, but we're going to play around here and then make a lower low. Now, we've already had our 3-wave correction. We already had our bounce. And we're just going to play around for a little bit longer here, okay? In a complex wave before we go down, okay? And so if that's the case, Euro then, okay, is doing the same thing. We had an impulse wave, off of a bottom, 3-wave correction, okay? And now we're going to play around with a complex correction before the Euro goes up against DXY, maybe. This could come down here even, and then up. But nevertheless, I think the character of the Euro over the next 6 months or so is going to be fairly choppy in here. I don't know if it's going to come this low or not. Good chance it will. In which case, I would expect the DXY to go up to that upper target that I just drew a bit ago. Okay, so now let's look at the NASDAQ and the S&P. S&P. Yeah, so we got the straight up wave here, guys. So looking at that straight up wave, I gotta take off my my old drawings there, because they're no longer valid, right? So we know that this was some sort of correction. I thought this was a leading diagonal. I did. I was looking for a 3-wave correction. All right, but we didn't get that. So what else could this be here? What else could this be? Well, we could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that an ending diag? What if we have 2 right here? 3 waves, 1, 3 waves, 2. Does 4 overlap the 1? Yes, it does. What if that's an ending diagonal? And this is also 3 waves with a really trashy B wave. And you got an ending diag, which means that S&P is about finished. Looking for a hit down, pullback, and continuation. It could be an ending diagonal, just taking the top out. We could have a zigzag. This could be some kind of A, B, and then C. Taking the top, in which case we got an expanded flat on our hands. 3, 3, 5. And we got a major crash. We got a major C wave coming. Major crash coming. Retesting this low here. Maybe. We could get a crash just like that. And by the way, that flat that you see right there, that could be the A wave, followed by a dead cat bounce, B wave, and then you can get another C wave. Which that's when the S&P really crashes, which takes 5 years or more for that to play out. We stay in this range for a while. We crash. We rally. This rally is corrective. It takes forever. But we'd be in a large market correction. You can totally see that on the chart, guys. You can totally see that potentiality here. And then the S&P might be ready for a new era of investment, right? In which the next wave is bigger and better and badder and just wonderful, right? But right now, this corrective wave is looming. It's looming. You've got the divergence on the, let's see, let's go to the 2-week chart. Actually, they're kind of taking out the divergence between this wave and this wave. That's interesting. They're kind of taking out the divergence in the monthly chart. You got the divergence on the monthly. Wow, you got double divergence in the monthly. Between the boom, boom, and then boom right here. So, yeah. We're due, guys. We're due for a deep. this straight up move here. I mean, you say, well, Jim, we've had corrections. Could we go parabolic? I imagine for the final hurrah, we could go parabolic. And we could go to $7,000, $8,000 maybe. I mean, why not? Why not? Or we could correct sideways for years, right? We could be in a wave 4, in which case you got like, you know, some kind of correction like that ends up going and we get a wave 4. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. But this correction is potentially coming. I don't know. But this looks to me, this is a classic. You had a large sideways correction here. Chances are we get a deep wave 4. This could be A, B, C, 4. And then we could go wave 5. Maybe that's the case. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get a wave 5. As long as 4 and 1 don't overlap, we're okay. So there's a possibility. But the monthly chart, you know, we're getting some divergence here, guys. Let's see how the month of March closes. I'll tell you what. Let's go to the weekly. Here's what you want to watch for. See if you get a break of this structure. Okay. That'll be the first signal. And you get a break of this particular line, a break of this. So if you break here, fine. But if this comes down and breaks here, that's real bearish. That's very bearish. Once this one breaks, that's going to be the scary one. So that could be a year off yet. But we might be in the beginning stages soon. So right now we're pushing up. Hey, everything's great. Everything's good. Everything's going up. It's never going to come down. No, it will one day. There'll be and I'll let you know when I see it, guys. I'll let you know when we see the first signs of it. We'll be doing Sunday night charts. So, and if you want quicker than Sunday night charts, make sure you get part of the Discord. You'll have daily analysis every day. Okay, and we'll just keep on top of it for you. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ here very quickly. NASDAQ's interesting to me because NASDAQ looks done. So when I look at the NASDAQ chart, I'm like, man, that looks done. If there's ever a chart that looks done, it's NASDAQ that looks done. Okay, when I look at the NASDAQ, I got a wave 1 right here, a wave 2. I got a wave 3, 4, 5. The only problem with that count is that wave 4 looks like wave 2. So this could be wave 4 of another degree. This could be wave 5 of wave 3. In other words, we might be getting ready to get a wave 4. That takes years. Sideways. And then up. Okay? I don't know. But that could be 5 waves. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we zoom in on that 5th wave, you see 5 waves of that one finished as well. Okay. It's kind of a weird shape here. It really is. Well, let's just call that 1, 2 right there. Or it could be a truncated 5th. And your 1, 2 could be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can have 1, 2 right here. Or this could be 1, could have an expanded flat 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 waves. Now you can't, it's hard to see 5 waves here, so you don't have a clear 1, 2. But that could be about done. It could be. Could it go up higher? Sure. But man, I mean, everything's just kind of looking finished to me. It's rolling over on the RSI. Rolling over on the RSI. We got signs of weakness right now in the NASDAQ. Signs of topping. Signs of weakness. Now, they could go up and make higher highs, I suppose. But right now, we're kind of rolling over. So let's see what happens with price here. Does this go up faster and higher? Or does this kind of break structure? Does this kind of go up parabolically? Or does this roll over, break structure? Does it correct and then go up? Or does it break this structure too? So we got some interesting times ahead of us, guys, over the next couple of weeks. We're living in interesting days. So we'll keep an eye on that every week, just paying attention. Let's finish the live stream now. I'm not going to take requests tonight. Sorry, guys. But let's finish the live stream with analysis of gold and silver, just very quickly, and we'll call it a night. I hope you guys are doing well. Chemo. Truth. All right, gold and silver, here we go. Let me take a peek at Tesla. Tesla broke down. I was looking for it to go down. That's excellent. That 1-2 is not correct. That's an old potential count. It got invalidated once that was 3 wavish and it started coming down deep. That got invalidated, so that's an old count. I don't know why it keeps coming up on my chart every time I pull it up, because I take it off. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Where's that? Gold. There's gold. Okay, so my bias here, guys. My bias here is this gold chart is got a 1 2 1 2 working. Okay. You might argue that this is a 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. I've seen that before. Okay. When I think, oh yeah, you got 5 waves, and then all of a sudden this wave just does that. One of those parabolic moves. This looks like, just like Jasmine, for instance. So let's look at Jasmine just for a minute. On the 4 hour, okay, there it is. Six hour, let's go there. Yeah, there we go. It looked like you had like this 5-wave shape here. Maybe not Jasmine. Maybe not Jasmine is a good example. But you see all these waves here, like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You know, when it starts revving up like that, man, just look for that. I kind of get the sense that gold is kind of doing that. It's not the same. It's not happening the same way. So you can argue that that's pie in the sky. You could argue. Let's get on the 12-hour here. Nope. Get on the weekly. There we go. That's better. Yeah, you got a nice 1. This could be 2, 1 2 3 4 5. That might be the end of a wave 3 right there. So you got some kind of 1 2, and then this is 1 2 3 4 5 3 4. Could get an extended 5th wave like that, where you get a bit of a correction here over the next couple of years. This might correct. We've hit all-time highs. Everybody's like, ooh, here we go, right? We're moon boy, right? It could be. But we could get a correction over the next couple of years, and then we go moon boy. But this gold chart is looking very much like this right here. See this wave right here? Where we did this, and we right there? This is looking very much like that wave, except it's bigger. So over the next several years, I personally believe that gold is going to be making higher highs. It's going to be going up as the U.S. dollar is dying. It's going to be going up. I think there's a very strong likelihood there. Your bear boy count, if you're a bear boy, if you want to say hey, then you're going to argue that you got a 1-2 down here. This is 3. That's 4. This is a wave 5. And then we're going to have a multi-year bear market in gold. I just don't see that historically. I don't see how that can be personally when the currency is where it is. The currency crisis. Gold has maintained its value. Okay. So what the crash, the market crash of 2007 and 8, well 2008 I should say. Okay. Between 2008 and 10, you see the price of gold just skyrocketing, right? Until finally things settle down in the markets begin going back up, right? So let's correlate gold with the S&P. Let's take a minute. Oh no. I hate when I do that. Let me reload it. Tag on it. Okay, so we're going to put gold on the left. Okay, gold is on the left, okay? And we're going to put it on the weekly chart. And on the right, we're going to put the S&P. And we're going to get that on the weekly chart as well. Okay. Now, maybe the 2 week chart. There we go. 2 week chart might be better. All right. So we had a crash in 2007 to 2008. Right? There was a crash. On the gold chart, there was a correction. No doubt. Couple of months, but between 2008 and 2011, okay, there was the price of gold was going up, and look what was happening in the market. We had this crash, right, and then the price of the market was going up at the same time, but gold was going up much greater percentages. That means investment in the markets wasn't as strong as investment in gold, right? Until the market began to overtake its peak. And then everybody's like, oh, we're going up in the markets. So the gold was sold off, okay? People are getting out of gold and back into markets because it was about to overtake the peak, right? And so that's why correction in gold based on, that price action, right? So now, what happened? What happened? Well, in 2020, let's see, March. The years after this correction, let's see, from 2018. This is the time of Trump now. Okay. Gold is going up, right? While markets are also going up, but gold is going up to a greater, well, I don't know, I guess the markets are going up to a greater percentage here, right? Then there was, what is this? This was the COVID crisis right in here. COVID crisis. And there's been relative correlation between gold and the S&P since then, which is interesting. Relative correlation, which means that the people betting on the markets, and maybe not an equal number, but there's a proportional number of people betting on gold as they are betting on the markets. But the question is, when S&P falls and dies, right? Is gold going to fall and die with it, or is money going to shift from the S&P into gold as an asset? If that happens, if the money goes out of this market, boom, and goes into gold, gold's going to pump. Okay? However, if money's moving out of this market and moving out of gold, well, where's it going to go? You could argue Bitcoin is the only other place it can go. Crypto is the only other place it can go. So that's the question that now besets us here. Is gold getting ready to rock because the S&P is getting ready to dump? Is that what's going to precipitate a pump of gold? Maybe. For sure. Okay. Looking at the silver chart, silver's a little slower than gold, but silver's looking about ready to break up and out of this. We got a nice 1-2 working here, 1-2. Looks like it's ready to start breaking up out of here. So I see silver prices rising over the next couple of years. Gold rising over the next couple of years. Is it going to go parabolic? I don't know. We'll see. Look at the 2008 crash. What happened to silver? Straight up. So if there's another crash coming to the S&P market, chances are silver's going to rock. But it can also dump as well. So I think there's a good chance silver's about to rock. That's why I'm a silver fan, because it looks more bullish than gold. It looks more parabolic-ish. Looks more like a 1-2 on the chart. But I need to get a better chart that has a longer view of silver. So I'll do that for next week, guys. I'll do that. But for now, guys, I'm done. I'm tired. I am ready to be done. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream. Let me know in the comments if you did. Let's see. Chemo? Yeah, I think I agree, Jason Moore. Natural gas is a nice buy. It ain't going nowhere, and it's at all-time lows, right? I mean, it's a good buy. Agreed. I like it as well. Silver is more industrial, sure it is. And as we move into the Industrial Revolution, the fourth Industrial Revolution, guys, silver is going to be a needed commodity, and it's going to be much more in demand. And it's also historically, it's money. Silver is money, just as gold is. So, yeah, guys, I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for joining me on Sunday Night Charts. Thanks for your thoughts, Chemo. Appreciate it. We need to do our video, man. We need to do our video. So let's make sure we schedule it and make it happen. With all that said, guys, hope you all have a fantastic night. Love you guys. We'll see you. Have a great night.